Long ago, in a vast and prosperous kingdom, there lived a powerful king. His kingdom was rich beyond imagination. In his royal treasury lay mountains of gold, silver, and precious jewels that sparkled like stars. His lands stretched far across the horizon with wide green fields, forests, and rivers that brought life to the kingdom. His mighty army of loyal soldiers protected the land and kept the people safe. The king had everything a ruler could ever wish for. But above all his treasures, the most precious gift in his life was his 3 daughters. Each princess was beautiful in her own way, and each had a very different personality. The oldest daughter was Princess Aurora. She was tall and graceful, with long black hair as dark as the night sky. She carried herself with elegance and confidence, and she loved beautiful dresses, shining gold, and royal celebrations. The second daughter was Princess Isabella. She was lively and energetic, always moving with excitement and curiosity. Her bright golden orange hair shone like sunlight, and her cheerful spirit often filled the palace with laughter. The youngest daughter was Princess Elena. She had soft chestnut brown hair and warm, thoughtful eyes. Unlike her sisters, Elena was quiet and reflective. She was kind, gentle, calm, and very intelligent, always thinking deeply about the world around her and caring for the people in the kingdom. The king loved his daughters dearly. Yet deep in his heart, he wondered how much his daughters loved him. One evening, while sitting in the grand throne hall beneath glittering chandeliers, he called to a servant.
"Bring my daughters here. I wish to speak with them."
Soon, the 3 princesses entered the magnificent hall and stood before their father. The king looked at them with pride and said,
"My dear daughters, you are the greatest treasures in my life. Today I want to ask each of you a question."
The princesses looked at each other curiously. The king asked,
"Tell me, how much do you love me?"
Princess Aurora stepped forward first. With confidence in her voice, she said,
"Father, I love you as much as gold, the most precious treasure in the world."
The king smiled widely.
Wonderful. Gold is indeed very precious.
Next, Princess Isabella stepped forward with a bright smile.
"Father, I love you as much as diamonds, shining and rare."
The king laughed with joy.
Excellent. Diamonds are even more valuable.
Finally, it was the youngest daughter's turn. Princess Elena thought quietly for a moment. She loved her father very much and wanted to answer honestly. Then she said gently,
"Father, I love you as much as salt."
The great hall suddenly became silent. The king's smile slowly faded.
Salt?
Princess Elena nodded calmly.
"Yes, Father. I love you as much as salt."
But the king's face turned red with anger.
Salt is cheap and common. Everyone has salt. It is nothing special.
The court whispered nervously. The king rose from his throne and pointed at the youngest princess.
Your sisters compared their love to gold and diamonds, but you compare your love to salt? How dare you?
Princess Elena tried to explain.
"Father, salt may seem simple, but it is very important."
Enough. If this is how little you value me, then you are not worthy to remain in this palace.
Tears filled Princess Elena's eyes. The king gave his final command.
Leave this kingdom at once!
And so, with a heavy heart, Princess Elena was forced to leave the palace, walking alone through the great gates and into the unknown world beyond the kingdom. After Princess Elena left the palace, the king remained furious. In his anger, the king made a sudden and terrible decision.
I no longer want to hear the word salt in my kingdom. From this day forward, no one is allowed to use salt.
The court gasped in shock, but no one dared to speak. The king continued with a strict command.
All the salt in the kingdom must be taken away and thrown out. Not a single grain should remain.
The soldiers immediately obeyed the royal order. They travelled across the kingdom from town to town and from market to market, collecting every sack of salt they could find. Large bags of white salt were loaded onto carts and carried to the rivers and the sea. One by one, the soldiers cut open the bags and poured the salt into the rushing water, letting it disappear beneath the waves. Soon, the kingdom had no salt left at all. Princess Elena walked slowly down the long road that led away from the palace. Behind her, the tall golden gates of the kingdom slowly closed. The place where she had grown up, the place she once called home, was now far behind her. For the first time in her life, she was completely alone. The wind blew gently across the wide fields, and the evening sky slowly turned orange and purple as the sun began to set. Elena wrapped her cloak around herself and continued walking. Although her heart was heavy, she did not feel anger toward her father. She only felt sadness.
Father does not understand yet. But one day, perhaps he will.
Days passed and nothing serious appeared to happen. People continued working in the fields, merchants sold their goods, and life went on as usual.
Thank you kindly.
But after some time, small problems slowly began to appear.
These carrots are ready.
In the royal kitchen, the cooks were preparing their daily meals. One morning, the head baker was making fresh loaves of bread. He carefully mixed the flour and water and placed the dough into the oven. But when the bread came out, something was wrong. Without salt, the bread was not soft and fluffy. Instead, it was dry, hard, and tasteless. The baker frowned and broke a piece apart.
This doesn't look right.
He muttered. Soon the bread was served to the king at breakfast. The king took a bite. Immediately his face twisted with disgust.
What is this?
He complained angrily. He threw the bread back onto the table.
This bread is like a piece of rotten wood. It does not suit my taste at all.
The cooks were terrified. They quickly returned to the kitchen and tried their best to improve the food. But without salt, the dishes slowly lost their rich and satisfying flavors. The royal chefs worked harder than ever. They prepared meals that looked beautiful and colorful. They added spices, sweet sauces, and fresh herbs. The dishes looked wonderful, but when people tasted them, something was always missing. A very important flavor was gone. When the food was served again, the king became more and more annoyed.
This is terrible. Add more spices, add sweetness, add herbs.
The chefs obeyed his commands and tried again and again, but no matter what they did, the food never improved. Slowly, the king began to eat less and less. Sometimes he only tasted a small bite before pushing the plate away. Soon he even started skipping meals entirely. The atmosphere inside the palace grew heavy and gloomy. The grand dining hall felt strangely empty, and the joyful spirit that once filled the palace had disappeared. Yet no one dared to question the king's order. Outside the palace, the people of the kingdom also began to suffer. Without salt, they could not cook their food properly. They could not preserve fresh meat either. Meat spoiled quickly.
It isn't fresh
and
anymore.
many meals became bland and unpleasant. Food no longer tasted the same as before. Slowly, the lively energy of the people faded. The markets grew quieter, and the once cheerful villages seemed grey and tired. And although no one dared to say it aloud, many people quietly wondered the same thing. Far away from the palace, Princess Alina continued walking along the forest roads. For many days, she wandered through the deep woods. Sometimes she found berries to eat. Sometimes she drank water from a clear stream. After many days of walking, Alina became tired and hungry. One afternoon, beneath the shade of a large old tree, she finally sat down to rest. She fell asleep at the foot of the tree. A little while later, an old woman passed by along the forest path. She was a kind old woman who lived nearby. When she saw the young girl sleeping alone on the ground, she stopped and looked at her with concern.
Poor child. What is a young girl doing alone in the forest?
She gently woke Alina and offered her some warm bread and water.
Thank you for your kindness, Manhan. I have nowhere else to go.
The kind woman smiled warmly.
If you wish, you may stay with me. My home is small, but I will always welcome you, young girl.
The old woman brought Alina to her home. It was a small wooden house deep in the forest, peaceful and quiet. In front of the house was a beautiful little garden filled with flowers, vegetables, and fruit trees. The air smelled fresh and sweet. From that day on, Alina stayed with the old woman. Every morning, they watered the garden together. They planted vegetables, cared for the flowers, and harvested fruits from the trees. The days passed gently and peacefully. Alina and the old woman laughed, talked, and shared many warm meals together. For the first time since leaving the palace, Alina felt safe and comforted. One evening, while preparing dinner, the old woman handed Alina a small pouch of salt.
This may look simple, but it is one of the most important ingredients in cooking. It helps bring out the true flavor of every dish.
Alina looked at the small grains of salt in her hand and remembered the words she had once spoken to her father. Together they cooked a warm meal with just a small pinch of salt. The food became rich, delicious, and full of flavor. As time passed, she learned to cook wonderfully delicious meals. Anyone who tasted her food could feel the warmth and care she put into every dish. One day, a tired traveler stopped by the old woman's house to rest. While drinking some water, he began telling stories about the kingdom nearby.
The king and the people of the kingdom seem very strange these days. They all look pale and tired. Many people say it is because of the terrible ban on salt. Without it, food has no flavor, and many people have lost their appetite.
When Alina heard this, her eyes filled with tears. She thought about her father. For a long moment, she sat silently, deep in thought. Then, at last, she made a decision.
I must go back.
She decided to disguise herself and enter the royal kitchen so she could cook a meal for the king. The next morning, She thanked the kind old woman and said goodbye.
Take care, my child.
Then Elena began her journey back toward the palace. When she arrived at the great gates, she asked the guards if she could work in the royal kitchen. The kitchen was always busy and the cooks needed help, so they allowed her to join. Soon Elena began cooking. The kitchen slowly filled with a rich and wonderful aroma. The dish she prepared looked beautiful and inviting. At last, the meal was served to the king. The king looked at the dish with curiosity. The smell was wonderful, but
The
when he took
aroma
a
is
bite,
delightful. But the taste is still bland.
at that moment, Elena stepped forward quietly. From her pocket, she took out a small pouch of salt.
Please allow me to.
She sprinkled just a few grains into the dish.
Please try again, Your Majesty.
The king agreed and tasted the soup once more. Suddenly, his eyes widened.
This is the flavor I have been searching for. It is rich, full, and perfect.
The king happily finished the entire bowl of soup. And as he sat there, he suddenly remembered the words his youngest daughter had once
I
spoken.
love you as much as salt.
At that moment, Elena quietly turned to leave. But the king called out.
Wait. Is that you, Elena?
Elena slowly stopped. Then she gently removed the cloth covering her hair. Her chestnut brown hair fell softly over her shoulders. The king stared in shock.
Elena? My daughter.
Tears filled the king's eyes. He rushed forward and embraced her tightly.
I was totally wrong. Please forgive me.
The entire palace stood silent and deeply moved. At last, everyone understood the true and sincere love the princess had always had for her father. Immediately, the king gave a new order.
Send soldiers across the lands. Bring salt back to the kingdom and give it to the people.
Soon, carts filled with salt arrived in towns and villages. The people cheered with joy. In the royal kitchen, the cooks happily returned to preparing delicious meals. Across the kingdom, families cooked warm and flavorful food once again. Little by little, life returned to the land. The markets became lively again. Laughter filled the streets, and the kingdom was full of energy and happiness. From that day forward, the king never forgot the lesson his daughter had taught him. And together with Princess Aurora, Princess Isabella, and Princess Elena, the royal family lived in peace and happiness for many years to come, and the kingdom flourished happily ever after.
Please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to watch new videos.